All right. Welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast, everyone. This is Abe, your host. Let me roll this window down real quick. It is August 15th, 2026. Sorry for the beeping. Yeah, I told you guys I was going to be back on Conspiracy Corner. So Sammy's asleep, and there's nowhere else to really podcast, but I wanted to podcast this morning. Got up a little early. It's Saturday. I'm going to cash my check when the bank opens. Let me fix this. Hopefully this stays. I had no problem last time. I need a phone mount. I keep bugging Sammy. She's like, I got one. I'm like, well, hook me up, dog. Yeah, gonna go to the bank today. I'm gonna mow and weed eat the lawn because we've had a shit ton of rain. Like I said, I was gonna podcast Tuesday, do a conspiracy podcast, but internet was out because apparently a power line went down. They either got struck by lightning or no. Sammy said a tree fell on it. It was like tornado type shit, man. Driving home that day, it was pouring rain. I was going like 30 miles an hour. Fucking crazy ass wind. All the trees just going like this, man, on both sides of the road. I'm like, fuck, dude, tree's gonna fall on me. Then I got on the main stretch of highway and lightning strikes like super close, man. It was crazy. So we've had a shit ton of rain. So after I cash my check or deposit it, I should say, I'm gonna mow and weed eat today. I don't know if I'm gonna end up doing this interview with Frankie this weekend. I know I said last episode I will. I don't even know if his transmission's fixed. But we'll see, because I know if I weed eat and mow today, I'm gonna do just that today. You know, I ain't fucking with that ceiling. Then tomorrow I'll fuck with the ceiling, you know, ripping out all that fucking fiberglass and then I gotta bleach the wood underneath it. I'm assuming it's wood, just in case there's like mold or something, because that shit will grow fast, you know. But the leak is fixed for now. Is it gonna reopen up? Possibly. So I'm sure, obviously, you've seen the title. We've been covering Mitch McConnell here lately. And I know there's a lot of people who get discouraged, like, when politics are brought up. I honestly, if you look at my old shit, well, not the podcast, but like, so years ago, when I was a content creator, I guess I would have called myself a content creator, because all I would do was make, the channel started as book reviews, because I was a conspiracy bookworm, you know, at the time. And then it turned into, well, I'm just going to talk conspiracies in short video form, like 10-minute segments, you know, sometimes 15, sometimes 5 minutes, you know, just talk about a certain conspiracy. But I got into when I got into podcasting, you know, it was right during COVID, and I was wanting to cover just classic conspiracy shit like Loch Ness Monster, Sasquatch, aliens, cryptids. I was really depressed at the time and shit, and like I didn't want to cover anything too heavy. But eventually I had to give in, and I'm like, okay, I can't just sit here and not talk about this elephant in the fucking room, you know? Cause you guys know me, mentally I struggle. So like whenever life is too dark and shit, it would freak me, you know, I'd get freaked out and not want to talk about things. But, I ain't gonna lie, dude, I didn't really get political until I went through like a Q-tard phase. Yeah, I used to be a Q-tard for a little bit. I've renounced all that shit and learned my lesson that it was a psyop, Operation Trust. And I still to this day feel stupid about it. So, I mean, if you look at my older episodes, like, there's some QAnon shit in there. And I was a Trump tard for a little bit. And, I ain't gonna lie, dude. Like, to me, you have to pay attention to politics to an extent because they tell you what their plans are. I mean, it's all out in the open with bills that they sign. Hell, they even say it. The politicians say exactly what they want, They don't hide anymore like back in the old days. The old days, like the cabal or whatever you want to call them, the elites, the L-ites, they would be the guys in the cloaks and, in Bohemian Grove, ha 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 ha, we'll plan this terrorist attack, next year, ha ha ha. Now they just say what they're doing, and they're just like, what are you gonna do about it? We eat babies. What do you do? You literally had the Epstein files, and there's like pedivore shit in there, and no one has done nothing. So it's like, as weird as it sounds, I don't blame them for being like, what are you gonna do about it? You ain't done shit. So it's like, yeah, I mean, but the conspiracy that we've been covering is Mitch McConnell. I think he's dead. And if you want to get into, like, if you want to look at the older episodes I put up about Mitch McConnell, there's a Mitch McConnell playlist on YouTube. By the way, if you're a Spotify listener, go on to YouTube, because if you're interested in a certain subject that I've covered, most likely I've covered it multiple times, different scenarios, details about it. And if I do cover a subject more than once, I always create a playlist. I have a shit ton of playlists on YouTube. Spotify doesn't have that option, so. Yeah, and if you're on YouTube, go sub to the Spotify, because there's some episodes that got removed from YouTube that are over there. And I know what people are wondering. So why is it important if Mitch McConnell's dead and they're faking his death? Or they're not faking his death, but they're trying to put out that he's alive. Because Thomas Massey was one of the only people, and probably the reason why we got the Epstein files, the little amount that we got, even though we were supposed to have all of them by December of last year. It is now August of this year, and we still haven't seen more since those last batches. Like, that's it. We still haven't gotten it all. But yeah, if McConnell is dead, that means Massey can get in there with a flash election. So we have an update. Last I covered of him, last time we covered him, he was in the hospital. I think the episode's called Weekend at Mitch's. Go check it out. But I want to see the cover-up, what the mainstream media is saying. So I get free newspapers from Sammy. Today's Harrodsburg Herald. You'd be surprised how much actual conspiracy type shit is in these like local papers. I know it's Operation Mockingbird, but I would have to say I have a little tiny bit more trust in local stuff rather than, like, obviously CNN or Fox News, something huge, like a big publication. Because once in a while, dude, something will slip through the small stuff and you're like, like here lately, they've been covering like flock cameras and all sorts of shit, So McConnell continues recovery at home after rehab. Senator Mitch McConnell, this is written by Hannah Pensky, and we'll do some commentary over this too, which is what I usually do. Senator Mitch McConnell was discharged from a rehabilitation center Thursday and is continuing his recovery at home following his June hospitalization. his office has announced. So, here's the thing. They can just say this, and we will never know if he was even in the hospital, because of HIPAA. They can't say or deny if he's there, if he was there, is not there, but was there. HIPAA, you know. So, right there, conspiracy. McConnell said in a statement that he and his wife, Elaine Chao, are grateful for the well wishes from friends, colleagues, and Kentuckians, as well as the care he received from the hospital staff. Now, from what I had heard, listening to Kurt Metzger. By the way, Kurt Metzger is fucking hilarious. Sam Tripoli's probably my favorite conspiracy podcast, but Kurt Metzger's up there too. I'd say he's probably my second favorite now. Mystery Boys with him and Duncan Trussell. I love Duncan Trussell, man. Especially since like Midnight Gospel. Go check that cartoon out. It's fucking awesome. Especially if you like podcasts, because it's like what they did is they animated over podcast audio. It's pretty good. It's like one of the few animations to like make me like bawl my eyes out like a fucking baby at the end. I won't spoil it, but it got canceled too, by the way. But I mean, if you know the dark roots of Netflix, you understand who runs it and shit. I think it's like the nephew of Edward Bernays, the father of propaganda, I think was his title, and he was the nephew of Sigmund Freud. That dude was a cokehead freak with possibly an Oedipus complex. Anyways, dark roots and shit. So, and if you watch that, man, it was putting out just like pure light, pure love, and yeah, so it's like, of course Netflix would remove it. Oh, by the way, though, what I was saying, though, Kurt Metzger had said, from what I'd heard, he said that while Mitch was in the hospital, that Elaine Chao, his wife or whatever, had flown to Beijing. And the conspiracy is that she's a Chinese spy. It would not surprise me. I think she has a political position too. I can't recall what it is, but hang on a second. I got some heartburn. Sorry for the dead air for a second. I gotta take a heartburn pill, man. This shit's killing me. Coffee on an empty stomach. Plus I chain smoke and I don't eat the best. Like yesterday I had chicken gizzards. I know someone out there is like, ew, Abe, what the fuck? Sorry, I'm a freak. But yeah, so how would he know what his wife is saying? Did she just say, yeah, just, sorry. Let me swallow this. I'm making myself laugh now. Laugh at my own jokes. But yeah, what'd she say just over the phone? Like, tell him I said this, you know? Or he's just making something up. His whole crew, his gang, you know? McConnell was first hospitalized June 14th, and his office released few details other than to say he was receiving excellent care after weeks of speculation. Conspiracy. Mitch McConnell released a statement July 12th saying he was recovering from a fall at home and a case of pneumonia. Pneumonia will kick your fucking ass, too. This is why I think he's fucking dead. I had put out the conspiracy they could have purposely tried to kill him with a ventilator. We all know about the whole ventilator shenanigans that I reported on during COVID years ago. It's so crazy that COVID was like half a decade ago. Isn't that mind-blowing? But I had pneumonia, I think 3 or 4 times, dude. And dude, it will kick your fucking ass. Like, you're just like barely breathing, but yet you have to like, because it's like, if you don't breathe, it just makes it worse. Cause yeah, it's, you're hacking up, you know, this is going to get gross, but you're hacking up green and black and brown shit, like hunks of shit. it's, and no energy, dude. Like, the only energy I had was literally like to get up and go to the bathroom, um, go outside and, yes, I know, smoke a cigarette. Dude, I was just, yeah, it's crazy, and it can cause brain damage because you're not getting enough oxygen to your brain. It'll fuck you up. So, like, at his age, what did they say he was? 80, 84? Yeah, pneumonia can kill your ass. It could kill you as a young man. When I had it, I was like fucking 18, 19 years old, and it could have killed me, you know? Throughout his prolonged absence, Democrats and Republicans alike have demanded more transparency from Kentucky senior senator. That includes Democratic Governor Andy Beshear, who sent a letter July 27th asking for McConnell to release details about his health condition, or resign from office. I don't like Andy Beshear. He's a Democrat. Not that it's two wings of the same bird. You guys know how I feel about it. I've said this a billion times. I believe everyone should aim to be moderate. Not red versus blue. Everyone should be purple. I despise Beshear, but I do have to say, if he was genuine and authentic about it, because we all know these politicians, you know, they bash on each other in public, and then they're all drinking champagne and eating lobster and laughing together behind closed doors. But we covered his letter in the last episode, so go check out Weekend at Mitch's. I'll link it down below as a related episode in Spotify. Because you can put two related episodes down below on Spotify. So if you're listening on Spotify, I'll link the Weekend at Mitch's one, and I'll link the other Mitch McConnell one we did, since they don't have playlist on Spotify. I need to email them. A little inside baseball, sorry. But, because I don't know. Yeah, it's copying YouTube's platform, but they really need to, because if they're going to compete with YouTube, they need to at least copy some of what YouTube's doing, you know. Still, Beshear has faced online criticism, conspiracies, those dangerous conspiracy theories. Let's see, where the fuck, I just had it. Online criticism, to do something about Mitch McConnell's absence, with some speculation it could harm a 2028 presidential campaign. If a vacancy is declared, Kentucky law dictates that the seat would have to be filled by special election, flash election. And who would most likely win that? Thomas Massie. Unless they rig it, which we covered the Massie versus Gowrain election. That was, not gonna lie, I'm 50-50. Well, I was 50-50 on it during the episode. By the way, there's a playlist of Massie versus Gowrain. Go check it out. But I think, because this ties in with that, I think that shit, looking at the evidence now, I think that shit was rigged, man. You know. So, it would be filled by a flash election, which would need to be called by the governor. So Governor Beshear. Without an official vacancy, Beshear has said that there's not much he can do. So he's like Pontius Pilate. I wash my hands clean of this. Like, see what I'm saying? He wrote this nasty ass, well, not nasty, but like this, like, demanding transparency from McConnell's staff and stuff. Like, he's all bark and no bite, it sounds. Meanwhile, Kentucky Republicans defended McConnell Saturday during the 146th. Let me turn the page. So let's see, it's 8A. So, St. Jerome Fancy Farm Picnic. That sounds so ridiculous, just saying that. Fancy Farm Picnic. I think it was like a Republican fucking dinner. I don't go to these shit because I'm neither Republican nor Democrat. By the way, I am a registered Republican, but the only reason why was because that was when I was a Q-tard and I voted for Donald Trump. It was the one and only time I voted. That was during the stolen election of Joe Biden. But with Joe Biden, I should say, not of Joe Biden. And the thing is, too, I didn't even want to register as a Republican. I wanted to register as, like, honestly, like, anarchist or libertarian or something. But I was like, no, that'll put me on a fucking list. But come to find out, Republicans probably be on a list when Democrats come into power. So it's divide and conquer, you know. What was I saying? Oh, you have to pick something when you register to vote. So I was just like, I don't know, let's just do Republican, you know. Which I plan on changing that. I need to. Because it messes with the census, you know. And I do think that census are kind of important for statistics and shit. So St. Jerome Fancy Farm Picnic, where many politicians credited him with their successful careers. He has attended the annual event in Western Kentucky for decades, but he had to miss his final picnic as a sitting U.S. Senator due to his ongoing recovery. So he didn't show up at the picnic. By the way, too, I don't know, maybe you guys have seen, like, footage of him returning home. Is there any footage of him returning home? All I see is a newspaper printing saying, yeah, he's returned home. Where's the footage? And by the way, we covered it in this little mini series that we've been doing about McConnell. The photo they printed, and I have a copy of it. I'm going to keep that newspaper because that thing's going to be historical one day. That photo is an older photo, and they literally photoshopped what he was wearing. Like, in the photo, he was actually wearing like a t-shirt, and his wife was wearing a t-shirt, and they photoshopped like basically like a hospital gown and shit on him. Speaking of the devil, synchronicity, but dude, there was a video I was watching this morning, and it was showing that this famous photograph of Abe Lincoln, I can't really describe it, but it's like one of the first times Photoshop was ever used. So they've been using Photoshop. Like, I had always thought and heard that Photoshop originated during World War II. Nope. It goes back further. Like, Photoshop has been used since like the 1700s, man, which is insane to me. This is why I get into like Tartaria and alternative history and shit, because it's like, if they were photoshopping back in the 1700s in like Civil War time, because the photo I'm talking about, Lincoln, they literally just swapped this other dude's head with Lincoln's and was like, this is Abe Lincoln, look how good he looks, you know. And it's crazy too, not to sidetrack too much, but who cares? I mean, it's fun conspiracy shit. Have you ever just, like, do me a favor and go look through photographs of Civil War battles, like actual battling where they're clashing swords and shit. First of all, am I crazy? I'm not a historian. I'm not like I'm a amateur photographer, but I'm not like a professional photographer or something. Am I crazy, or did the photos back then, you had to like stand still for like a certain amount of time, or else they would just come out super fucking blurry? I don't know. So like, how are they capturing these action images? And by the way, when you look at the fucking telemarketers, hopefully this doesn't stop record. Okay, I think I see the numbers moving. Sorry about that. But what I was saying is, I hate telemarketers, making me lose my train of thought. If you look at those photos now, dude, they look staged. It looks like fucking actors. And I thought the craziest, I heard the craziest shit. I think it was like Martin Leidecke, who's a big Tartaria guy. I haven't seen I think he's still content creating, but Go shout outs to him. Go check him out. Tell him who sent you. Maybe he'll shout me out. He doesn't believe in the Civil War. And I thought it was the craziest fucking thing. I'm like, okay, I have to listen to this shit. That's how I got turned on to like flat earth. I was like, this shit sounds retarded. So like I went into it trying to be like a skeptic, or not. Well, I was being a skeptic, but I was like, got into it by thinking it was retarded. And then I was like, this is fucking nuts. The earth might be fucking flat. Same thing with the moon landing. Like when I first woke up to the moon landing, I was like, because my first conspiracy was really honestly like 9/11. But I believed in the moon landing, you know, and then I was like, this is retarded. I gotta watch this. And then I started watching, and I went, we didn't go to the fucking moon. But dude, go do me a favor and go look at these old Civil War photos, man. It looks like actors, like they're posing and getting a picture taken. It's fucking crazy. I know it sounds nuts, just do it. So where were we at? McConnell's absence has been notable in the Senate, specifically with passing the next farm bill. The Senate Agriculture Committee, which McConnell sits on, failed to pass the GOP-led farm bill out of the committee Thursday because of Mitch McConnell's absence and opposition from Democrats, according to reporting from Politico. Without McConnell, Republicans needed at least one Democrat vote to advance the bill, but Democrats refused to cave in because Republicans didn't include a 2-year delay for states to start sharing the cost of providing supplemental nutrition assistance program benefits. The Senate is expected to start its August recess Thursday and return September 14th. So, yeah, they're probably in recess now then, because this paper, I think, is a little bit old. And yeah, yesterday was Friday, so yeah, I guess last Thursday. So they're in recess now. Senator John Boozman, you can't make this up, Boozman. Have I told you guys, I think that these like huge figures, whether they're politicians, that usually politicians, or obviously we know actors have fake last names like Tom Cruise. That's not his last name, dude. But I think that the politicians, some of these politicians, that's not their last name. I think it's almost like a revelation of the method, like Anthony Weiner sends a picture of his wiener to an underage girl. You know, like, you can't make that shit up. It's either that God has a sense of humor, it's the simulation, kind of like letting you know there's a simulation, or it's the elites are like, we shall rub it in their faces if they don't wake up after this, you know, and like make them, they choose names for them. Like, so I wonder if this dude's an alcoholic, you know. Boozman. Senator John Boozman, a Republican from Arkansas, who chairs the committee, told reporters he expects the committee to vote on the bill again when the Senate returns in September, according to reporting from Notice. I don't know who that is. I guess a paper. McConnell is not seeking re-election in the November. Republican U.S. Representative Andy Barr and Democrat candidate Charles Booker are the two candidates vying to replace him. So we're not going to get Massey in. It sucks. I want Massey. I truly believe he's fighting. Well, he was fighting for our best interests. I mean, like I said, he was the only reason why the Epstein files were released. Him and like Marjorie Taylor Greene, and dude, all the good ones are fucking retiring. And I don't blame them, because they're almost becoming black-pilled. Like, they even say it, like, what's the point? And if this shit's rigged, and then when we like pass bills and shit, like they're like the Epstein shit, like they're literally breaking the law by not releasing all of them, all the files. It's nuts to me. And I don't blame them for like giving up, like especially Marjorie Taylor, because she stood up for Trump and all this shit, and then Trump just 180'd on everything. She's like, what the fuck? And then like he like said he didn't care if her kid died and shit. Like, and then Massey's discouraged. So they're all giving up. So like literally like all the good ones who you know, like Ron Paul, like Ron Paul's still in there. But I heard some like weird Zionist shit with him. So I don't know with him anymore, sadly. Even him, dude, like we have no one good left. Like we will literally be like there will literally be like no one who is actually good fighting for us. Which is slightly terrifying, but or you could have the black-pilled mindset of like, oh, it's all a theater and it's all a wrestling match, you know. Who knows? Love y'all. Let me know what you all think in the comments below. I hope y'all enjoyed a little morning coffee and newspaper with me. I like to do this every now and then. Y'all have a good day.